Hello, welcome. We are talking about the water element. I'm talking about Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancers. Not in that order, that's no particular order, but we are going to talk about the water element and why it's essential in our everyday lives and your life, and how I want to empower water signs. So that's really what this video is also about. I am Danyell, Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. There are 12 signs in a zodiac sign, and they're broken down into 4 groups, and each group is called a triplicity. There are 3 signs in each group, and the triplicity is an astrologer word for element, okay? And in each triplicity, there contains a cardinal, fixed, and mutable sign, hence the 3 signs. Now, the triplicities that you know as elements are fire, earth, air, and water. They're basically like the symbolism of the fundamental characteristic of the zodiac signs, right? So earth, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorns, are practical and stable, and airs are Geminis, Libras, and Aquarius, and they're very intellectual and communicative. Now, fire signs, they're Aries and Leos and Sagittarius. They're very active and are very enthusiastic. Now, when we talk about water, which we're dealing with our Cancer, Scorpios, and Pisces, don't forget. Water is very important because it deals with the flow in a very distinct way. You're talking about rivers, you're talking about tides, you're talking about waves. Water is all that. Most importantly, water is emotion. Water is a feeling. Water is, and water feels. The single word for feeling covers a lot of energy. It covers joy, sluggish, sorrow, grief, depression, ecstasy, good moods, bad moods, all that in between. That is what we have when we have our feelings and feels. Water is in charge of all that, okay? Out of the 4 elements, water is the most difficult to explain because you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with feelings, you are dealing with something that people cannot comprehend. Also, the water element is today looked at as very negative because it's very feminine. It is the most feminine yin energy of all signs, okay, of all elements. Earth, I know, is feminine, but that's a different video. We're staying on the water. But water, I'm telling you right now, is the most feminine yin energy. And in modern society, it is deemed very negative, right? So are males allowed to feel? No. They're not. It's frowned upon for them to be sensitive. It's frowned upon for them to have a feeling of something. And if the feeling is negative, you know, that's not very masculine, and hence the feminine energy. Now, water represents inferior repressed function. It is a very feminine archetype, and it's so poorly expressed in our modern culture today. You're talking about receptive energy, receiving, internal, night and exhale energy, and people just don't like it, okay? The water element includes emotional deepness and depth. It's about our intuition. It's about our sensitivity based on subjectivity, not like objectivity, not based on something that you can tangibly touch. There's no method to it. It's just a feeling. It's responsive, and also it's very adaptable, which we will get into. So males in this world are not really allowed to accept this water element, which in the past, in ancient times, water element was so important. I'm pretty sure the men of the tribes was like, do you feel it? I feel it. It makes me think of like the Lion King, how the guy, he went to the monkey, and that was water energy, that monkey, right? And he was a male. So it's almost like that kind of is what I imagined back in the day, even though I'm here in modern times. Now, also water energy is dealing with psychic readers, right? And healers. That's not very positive either. They are like in the closet, like gays and lesbians. psychic readers and healers hide their activities, they hide their abilities, even hide their true selves, right? From their families, co-workers, neighbors, out of feeling ridiculed and misunderstood. They're labeled and they're ostracized and discriminated against. Now, I remember when I first told a group of friends that I was an astrologer, I didn't even tell them I was a tarot reader. Oh, the negative things they said in my face. Water energy is just very negative. Also, it makes me think of like mothering when I said I was going to be a stay-at-home mom years ago. That's internal energy too, and that's water energy, and that was frowned upon because it's not masculine, and you should be masculine. That's kind of turning the table nowadays, but the water energy is always like last to come. Just so you know, but the water rules our soul. It's a universal symbol for connection and unity. Without water, we would be very inhumane. We'll be like robots. We'll be flat. We will be cold. Water nourishes our plants, our animals, our humans, and it's crucial for our agriculture, our sanitation. Without water, life as we know it would not exist. It wouldn't be possible. Hence, the water is still frowned upon and is very negative. Water helps us navigate our emotions and provides a source of healing and renewal. Water makes up a huge percentage of the human body. I saw this TV show, if I can put it up, if I remember. I just remember the actress who was in it, and she was really discussing water and the symbolism of water in it. And, that kind of makes me think of when I was putting the notes up for this video. But it could be said to be the most crucial element because it is a big percentage of the human body. Water reminds us of our interconnectedness and the importance of caring for each other and others on this earth. Water is often also connected to memory, and I will get into the memory of each water sign, but also connect why memory is so important when I break down this video. A water still holds memory in that substance that it originally had. No matter how many times you dilute the water afterwards, it will still have the memory of that original substance added to it. And water has the ability to store and transmit information through its structure and arrangement of molecules. And memory is just so important with water, and I will discuss that throughout this video. I broke this water video down into 4 parts: adaptability and physical water, feelings and emotions, and then psychic and subconsciousness, and then lastly, cleansing and rituals. Now, I also discuss each water sign briefly. I discuss relationships with water sign, not necessarily love, but just a little bit of love. Creativity in water signs, because that's a big part of water signs. What is your vocation with water signs? Why are we here on this planet? What are we here to do for others? And you can think of that as a job. And I also discuss tarot because, yes, I'm a tarot reader. So let's talk about water and adaptability. When I'm talking about adaptability, I'm really talking about the flow, the fluid, how it wavers. It teaches us flexibility and resilience and the ability to navigate through this world with grace. Like emotions, water is very fluid and it's shifting. The water signs are they have the ability to flow and adapt to different situations. Water dissolves, it blends almost all matters. And water, the physical water that you touch, is the universal solvent, breaking substances down, dissolving them, and taking on their qualities. And water signs take on the energy of others too, just like the physical water. Water takes many forms. Just like water signs, it can be liquid, it can be gas, it could be steam, it could be frozen, and water is constantly flowing, changing, and adapting to its surroundings, the water signs. And much like emotions and intuition is associated with the water element, that is the same. Our intuition as a water sign, I say "our" because I'm talking about me, myself. We have to flow with what's going on with the world now, on our environment. Water signs are known to be adaptable and adapt to their situation and environment. Water signs are very transparent, they're very flowing, they're very creative, and this flow allows them to have the current life that they have and adjust their approach as needed to achieve the goals of themselves and others. When water is still, it's said that it's run deep, but water doesn't want to be confined, and the energy will assert its strong need for freedom, no matter how gently it is expressed. So what I mean by that is emotions. And if you are not flowing with your emotions, and if you're not letting the emotions flow, for example, if you experience grief and sometimes that water just bursts out, that emotion, that feeling just comes out, you shouldn't control that. You shouldn't suppress that. It needs to be free. Because if it doesn't, just like physical water, it creates floods. It wipes wipe away homes. It makes a major disaster like a tsunami, right? Even though maybe that's dealing with earth, but that's water, right? Water itself is fluid and can easily change the shape that it fits in its container. So if a water is in a cup, it's in the cup. If it's in a popsicle holder, it's turned into that popsicle holder. And the same with our intuition and our feelings. We can adapt to the feelings, water sign, that we are in that environment. Water is also very reflective, and the surface can symbolize introspection and ability to reflect on past memories, which memories is very important with water. So just how you can see your reflection in a calm water, memories can be a reflection of our past and our experiences. Now, if you're a Mercury in Cancer, if you're a Mercury in Scorpio, or you just have these placements, right, you probably have a really great memory. Yeah, and when you're dealing with water, you're dealing with water that is calm. So people have very calm emotions. You're dealing with turbulent waters, turbulent emotions, murky, not very clear kind of energy, and it can reflect the dreamer as well. And we're going to get into that when we get into our psychic abilities. Now, so that is what we have in a nutshell when it comes to water, the physical, tangible water, and the adaptability and the flow that water has to have with our water signs. Now, speaking of the flowing of the water signs, you're dealing with that emotions, and that's when we're dealing with the feelings. Water signs have intense emotions and hold tremendous power. They say things like, I feel your pain. And I say that because that's me, okay? If I didn't say this already, I am a Cancer sun. I am a moon in Scorpio. I have 8th house placements and 12th house placements. So I do have a lot of water energy. And I'm going to be honest, I lack earth energy, okay? Just so you know that. So water energy is very important to me. It's important to what I do in life and how I respond to the world. Okay, so it's all about what they feel rather than logic and intellect, okay? Compassion is also very serious with water energy, and they're very receptive to individuals, very high when it comes to receptibility, right? They can take feelings of others, process them, and put forth a plan and a solution to help the whole world, right? Highly in tune to feelings and the needs of others, very nurturing, it's natural for them to be nurturing, often putting needs in front of their own, very self-sacrificing, able to connect with others in a deep emotional level, and offering support. Compassionate and deep emotional intelligence. When you talk about someone who's emotionally intelligent, you're dealing with water energy. When you're talking about someone who is not emotionally intelligent, you're also dealing with water energy. Water signs feel more fulfilled when they are helping others. At their best, water signs help us nourish and protect and grow the interpersonal connections to give life meaning. It's very refreshing because they deal with that cleansing energy, which we will get into later. But they really want to go into the deepness of things. There is no shallow energy about water, okay? Any water signs, for the most part, they're not shallow. If they are, what's going on? You're not living in your light. They're very entertaining and considerate and very romantic when helping others, right? They tend to handle anyone's feelings with care, with very soft touches, very fragile with people's feelings. A water sign will always become quiet or withdrawn when they're trying to sort things out. Everything for water signs is internal. They have to take times to figure it out. They have to process things. They come off very mysterious sometimes because they're really, like an ocean itself is mysterious. They're really processing things and they need time to reveal themselves slowly. Water signs love with their whole heart and devotion. They're very vulnerable. They're very sentimental. If you are going to cry, they will give you full attention. If you need help emotionally, you have a shoulder to cry on. Because sensitivity is their strength, they're allowed to connect with others and understand other people's needs. And there's intuitive understanding with human emotions with water signs across the board. When you share a problem with a water sign, they can take your problem as if it's your own. They're very empathetic. They're very sympathetic. Okay, water signs need to be alone because they take on the energy of others, like the physical water like if you mix water with salt, it takes on that memory memory, and they hold on to that energy. So water signs need a lot of time on their own. Off balance, water signs are ruled by their emotions. So there's lack of objectivity. They could be too defensive. There could be not wanting getting close to each other. They can be drained when they are dealing with negative environments, easily get swept away because they're being too sensitive. There's mood swings, intense emotions. They're moody, they're self-indulgent, they're insecure, they're tapping into the fantasy world a little bit too much. They could easily get hurt or take things too personally, very highly suspicious, and waters are the healers of the zodiac. So they sympathize, they want to help people change, they feel the empathy and the pain of others, they attempt to give advice and heal to no end, and that is a healer of the water sign. So let's get into the psychic abilities and dreams when we're dealing with the element water. Water deals a lot with the unknown. It deals a lot with the subconscious, which I discussed earlier, and it can be the unknown without any type of communication through words, and that is also, I want to explain, is viewed as very negative. That is very, a lot of people say hocus pocus and magic, and this is false energy, okay? So ignore the haters. But water is very clairvoyant, and clairvoyant means that it can see very clearly. It has the ability to access and decipher visual information to extrasensory means in the form of image or pictures. It does not need to see through the eyes, but the inner soul and the inner eyes, behind the eyes. It is interacting with your dreams or your use of imagination, and it's visualizing it. Water signs are also considered the sixth sense, and it's about heightened awareness of the unseen world. If you're familiar with the chakras, you would get that third eye. That is water energy. They're also thought to have a strong connection to the spiritual realm, making them more open to mystical and experiences through a spiritual insight. Religious leaders and gurus, that is not the energy that I'm talking here when I'm talking about water signs. That's actually a fire energy, and that's more Sagittarius energy. Religious leaders could kind of go into that element if they are talking about the soul and feelings. So just so you know that there's a difference between motivation and there's a difference between feeling and subconscious energy. But water signs are known for vivid dreams and recalling their strong, vivid dreams. Water is associated with the subconscious mind, and it makes these signs more attuned to the messages and symbol that arises in our dreams. Water influences can enhance your intuition, your psychic abilities. Water is linked to that subconscious mind, which governs our hidden thoughts and our feelings and our memories. Again, memories are often tied to an emotional experience, and that can give us a greater understanding of our inner selves and the motives of our actions. Now, water is dealing with aura. Water is dealing with energy. Water is dealing with psychic abilities. Water is dealing with that color that is unexplained. Water is dealing with magic, whether it's black or good or bad. Water is dealing with the feelings, and water is also dealing with chakras. Highly intuitive and sensitive, able to navigate complexities of life with ease is water energy. Water signs read your true intentions simply by reading your gestures, your body language, and your true actions more than any words you can speak. I told you from personal experience, I can tell when someone is lying. I'm not a lie detector, but I can tell through feelings, and not necessarily like for someone. So like if someone's talking about their sexuality, I wouldn't know like words like if they're bisexual or if they're gay, but I would know that they feel very uncomfortable and they don't feel happy with what they're saying. So that is more of the lie detecting that I have. The moon is most visible at night, a time when our dreams are often more processed and we have our memories. So you have that water again with the moon, with the dreams, and then the dreams are connected to your psychic abilities. Water energy trusts actions more to words, and water is more imaginative too. Dreams are thought to be a way for the subconscious mind to work through memories and emotion. Now, emotional deepness, that's in tune with subtle messages, and we're getting that through our subconscious mind, and that's also through our dreams. Our intuition can be manifested through dreams. Dreams are so important when dealing with psychic ability, and that's leaning more to Pisces, and I'm going to go over the zodiac sign individually a little bit, but water is associated with the realm of our source of dreams and the subconscious mind. It has a strong connection, making images and symbolism mean more than what we think they mean. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is the ruler of dreams. Pisces is the last zodiac sign, and it's also dealing with the subconscious. And Pisces is dealing with most energy of the water, being that it's the last sign. So people who have significant Pisces placements, the sun, the moon, and the rising, or have a lot of placements in the 12th house, they have a lot of psychic abilities. Mercury in Pisces, you could be dealing with psychic abilities as well, or dealing with the dreams. Water also deals with delusions, fantasies, escapism. Dreams are also direct reflection of the inner world. And remember, water is feminine. Feminine is internal energy. Okay. It could be very intense. It could be very transformative. It could be very healing. There's deep connection with your emotional state. And there's comfort, closure, and there even could be some warning signs about a situation or a relationship within your dreams, hence the psychic abilities. Now, also we have with water, cleansing. Cleansing is also a ritual of some sort, and this is also the spiritual aspect of water. Water can cleanse your body, your mind, and your spirit, washing impurities and negative energies. Many cultures use water as a symbolic ritual or a ceremony to cleanse your body and your mind, also your spirit and your energy. Water is also essential for a physical cleansing, like bathing, washing, cleaning your house. You can do all that, and also purifying anything that is negative with your mind and your emotions. Water is a symbol of renewal and regeneration as well. So washing away the old for making way for the new, purifying, transformation, cleansing, spirituality is dealing with this water element. And the act of immersing oneself in water and being baptized can also symbolize a cleansing of the soul and washing away the past of your sin and memories. So some water rituals that are used in many cultures and spiritual purification with renewal are a baptism. You have that in Christianity, and that's what I mentioned earlier, where they wash away your sins. You also have, I'm not sure because I'm not Muslim, or I don't know anything about Islam, but it says here that ablution, I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong, it's where Muslims wash a specific part of their body before prayer. This I definitely remember because when I was in college, my roommate was Muslim, and I prayed with her one time outside of a restaurant on the carpet. And I don't know if it was carpet or we were just praying, but we had to do this. I had to wash my hands inside the restaurant and all that stuff. And I think it was like a routine of how to do it. Also, offerings. In Hindu, water is often offered as to deities as a part of rituals and ceremonies. Water is considered a purifying element and is used to symbolize the washing away of pure impurities and offering of one's devotion. Then you have holy water. In many religions, paganism, a lot of religious leaders use holy water, even like priests. Also, ceremonial baths. I think they have that in Catholicism too, like the holy water or the spiritual water. Also, like, Florida water is very water cleanse, purifying, and that's also the element of water. And that's dealing more a Scorpio element, but we will continue. So now I'm going to talk about each water sign individually, and first we're going to talk about Cancer, since I'm a Cancer moon. Well, also because that is the first water sign you get in the astrology wheel, and the ruling planet for Cancer is the moon, and it is the feeler. It's corresponding with the beginning of summer. It is also the first water sign we're going to experience, and it is a cardinal sign. Rich complexities of the emotional inner world, new to the joy of being loved, along with the sting of rejection, is what you get with Cancer. Cancer could be fierce, protective of their friends, and loyal also with their lovers as well. Cancer and memories, because each zodiac sign, and not each zodiac sign, because each water sign deals with memory. When Cancer is dealing with memory, it's more almost on the negative side. even though it could be positive. But they hold a lot of grudges, and they're constantly looking at their past. So they could hold grudges with their loved ones, with their friendships. But you get that on the negative side, but they also are constantly looking back. And the moon is the ruler of memory too. And it is also the ruler of the past. Key traits of Cancers are nurturing emotional depth, family bonds, people who are born with Cancer energy. They're very sensitive, very intuitive, very mothering, very empathetic. They bond through care. They have a natural inclination to care for others and create a sense of home and security. Also could be very moody, very sensitive to criticism. Now, Scorpio energy, which the ruling planet of Scorpio is Pluto. The traditional ruling planet of Scorpio, it was Mars. They are the detective of the water sign, and they're fixed energy, and so that's in the middle of autumn, and the season overlaps with Halloween, which is very fitting. They're very magnetic. They're into the brooding energy, sex and death orientated, with a kind of goth and edginess. And they're really touching, really getting involved with that underworld. Scorpios have an elephant's memory. They can remember so much. Elephants have the most impressive long-term memory, if you didn't know, and they can remember information all the way from their youth. They can remember their location of the water and their sources of food. They also can remember routes and specific locations and behaviors of other animals. And this is basically the memory of a Scorpio. They will be ready to give you every detail of description of any moment in their life, especially if you're dealing with secrets. They're very good with that. Now, when I think of Scorpio as a water, if I think of Cancer as a water, I think more of a lake. When I think of Scorpio as a water, I would think murky water. Scorpio is characterized by intensity, obsession, psychological deepness and depths, passion and transformation. Of course, you have that very mysterious energy with Scorpio, and they bring that with the water element. Scorpios are known for their deep emotional reserves and resilience and determination because they are the fixed energy. They are often drawn to uncovering truths and have a magnetic and mysterious quality. They can be fiercely loyal, but also prone to jealousy and possessiveness. Okay, now let's talk about Pisces. And Pisces ruler is Neptune, and their traditional ruler is Jupiter. Pisces is known as the poet. It's very creative energy. The bottom of the sea, and the sea itself is what you think of if you have to assign that to water. It is almost impossible to penetrate and is the last water sign of the zodiac. Pisces exists in a distant dreamlike space somewhere from the planes of reality. It occurs in the end of winter, and that's a time when it's very cold and we want it to be warm. It's like the dusk before dawn kind of energy. So there's like an ending, but then there's a new beginning, and it is a mutable sign. Now, Pisces they have very sharp memory. However, because Pisces memory is more of like feelings and how it made them feel. I have the same energy. I go off of like, no, I don't know what you said, but I know how I felt. So that is something that really explains like a Pisces memory, and they can remember that for the longest time, and even them remembering it brings up the memory of the feeling. At the same time, Pisces can easily get lost in their own thoughts and lose track of time and appointments and conversations. So a lot of people think that Pisces energy doesn't have a great memory because of the lack of concentration. It's ready to change and adapt and be receptive, water, and it's very open for ideas, Pisces, and it's very understanding. Pisces knows how to travel to the deepest depths of the human psyche, drifting into the realms of the subconscious, creativity, endings, and death. Dying is not a fear of theirs, and understanding it, and spiritual fantasies as well. The most connected to the collective unconsciousness is the Pisces. They're associated with escapism, altered states, meditation, the unconscious, subconscious, spirit energy, imagination. Cancers are very compassionate of all of the water signs, also very intuitive, and you get the dreamy aspect strong with Cancers and the psychic abilities. They struggle with boundaries and occasionally become overwhelmed by the emotions of others. And what else? I was going to say something else about Pisces. Yeah. You know, anytime I do a tarot reading for someone who has strong 12th house placements or Pisces energy, I'm like, okay, tell me why I'm here, because you can do this reading before I can do it. You know, it's almost like they just want to talk about their psychic energy. That's kind of just how I feel. Anyway, but I do love Pisces. I love all the water signs. I actually like all the zodiacs, you know, because that's my Mars and Venus and Gemini. Anyway, but let's talk about water signs and creativity. Now, water energy is very creative. They draw inspirations from the rich inner side of their world. And they also get creativity from the dreams. They also have an expressive energy, and the observations on human condition creates a lot of masterpieces with paintings, music, photography, literature, and dance. You find that the most creative people is really water energy. Fire is one thing. That's a different video. But the water is going to really dig deep, and you're going to look at their art or feel their art or hear their art, and you're going to feel something from it, okay? Water signs feel everything and can make wonderful artists because they are highly imaginative. Now, relationship-wise, water signs are very loyal. They're very compassionate. Water signs typically, again, are nurturing and supportive. They have deep connections, and they seek partners who understand and appreciate their emotional depth. However, they may be prone to be overly sensitive again, and they are very possessive at times. Now, they are the most compassionate of the whole zodiac, though. And private relationships is a specialty of all the water signs. So when we're talking about relationships, though, each zodiac water sign brings a different thing to the table. So like Cancer, the cardinal sign, is very primary tribal units, and it brings a sense of protection and that first sense of home. And Cancer expresses their water element in nurturing and preserving and protecting the family, which is the smallest unit upon the society that is built in our world, right? Now, love with spouse and children is very paramount and important to the Cancer, and they take the role of being a provider very seriously. Now, Scorpio, that's the fixed energy, remember, and it protects the unit in a different way. The Scorpio energy in relationship, the domain is to investigate the two most personal, interrelationship, not like the relationship with the family and the kid, but the relationship within, right? So they're talking about relationship with sexuality and finances, and these two things are the most private thing that people want to keep private. They don't want to discuss their finances, and they definitely don't want to talk about their sex life, but they're probably more prone to talk about their sex life than their finances, but both matters are very private. So Scorpios have a shrewd business sense, and that is the relationship of Scorpio. Now, Pisces relationship is the oneness. It is all inclusive. Everyone's invited, okay? They are immutable, and they bring some new people to the tribe. Pisces blends so well with other signs. Pisces deep spiritual leads them to other people and also like the one-on-one basis, but they are into the collective energy. Pisces are moved to relieve any pain they perceive in another, and they stand ready to offer the shirt off their back. They are very they're going to sacrifice everything to help others. That is very Pisces. Virgo is also like that, but that's a different video. Now, the jobs of water energy, because we're dealing with empathy and creativity and understanding the deeper aspects of our human nature, what can water signs really deal with for as jobs and vocations? They're dealing with the world of art, psychology, healing professions, counselors, therapists, anything dealing with creative arts, writing. Again, I said that earlier, like a poet or something. Healing professions, an energy worker, a Reiki, a massage therapist, anything dealing with being nurturing and compassionate, like a daycare worker, psychic or intuitive services. Hence, you see me, what I do for a living, tarot reading, and astrologer, anything dealing with divination, and using their intuition. Now, environmental marine biologists. Now, water signs are often connected with nature, and they are dealing with water. So you would see them a lot in the water element itself. Also, social workers are great for water signs because they love to help. They love to help family. And that is what I used to do. I also deal with social work, and I also went to grad school for psychology. So I am all in the water element, okay? Artist and writer. This is more my twin brother, who is a water element. He is a great writer. He's also a great artist. And I also am a great artist as well. So everything here, even the teaching, is great for water signs, right? Because water signs, nurturing and compassionate nature, they're going to be teachers and they're going to be mentors. And they want to help others grow. And that is my number one goal in life all the time, is like, okay, so what did you learn? What is the lesson? And I used to be a kindergarten teacher too. So all of these things make so much sense for the water element. Self-made millionaires also is a Pisces energy. A lot of Pisces are self-made millionaires. And Scorpios are great with following their intuition when it comes to finances. And Cancers are, because they believe in security, are going to always have their finances on par. Okay. Now, tarot. Because I am a tarot reader, tarot far as the tarot suit for water energy are the cups, right? And the cups represent emotions, relationships, intuition, and creativity. Now they're chalices, and they symbolize the receptivity and fluidity of emotions. When cups appear in the tarot reading, you're dealing with matters of the heart. You're dealing with the emotional aspect of our lives. It represents love, relationships, deep feelings, your intuition, our subconscious, listening to that inner voice, trusting your instincts. Cups can indicate emotional issues such as moodiness, emotional turmoil, being overly emotional, a need to address emotional issues or work through some past traumas is also dealing with the cups. Cups remind us the importance of balancing our emotions and listening to our inner selves. Now, some two major arcana cards that I picked that really represent water energy, because Neptune is super feminine planet, and so is the moon. Those two are the most feminine planets of all the planets. And you have the hangman that represents Neptune, and it represents sacrificing, letting go, and suspension. And it's a man who's upside down, right? And he hanging upside down from a tree of beam, and the leg is crossed over the other, forming a shape of 4. Not in pain or distress. He's actually very serene, suggesting that he volunteered to be sacrificed here. The hangman is often interpreted as a symbol of self-sacrifice or a willingness to let go of something for the greater cause of a higher purpose. It indicates a need to pause, reflect, and see things in a different perspective. The card is associated with surrendering to a situation rather than fighting against it and finding peace and acceptance. Period of waiting also is when you have this card, and inaction and necessary before progress is made. A need to let go of old patterns and beliefs and attachments that are holding you back. The hangman encourages you to look at things from a new angle, a new perspective, and to be open to different possibilities, right? And that makes me think of all the energy representing Pisces. Now, the moon, this card represents a complex of mysteriousness, and it's associated with confusion and illusion in the subconscious mind. The moon represents deeper aspects of the psyche in the realm of the unconscious, with the memories that are stored, because remember, the moon is the ruler of memories. Moon shining brightly in the sky with a path leading off into the distance is what you see in this card. And there's a dog and a wolf howling at the moon, a symbol of the unknown and the need to trust your own intuition. It suggests that things are not as they seem, and there could be some hidden truths or emotions at play. You may be feeling unclear, or there's things that are very ambiguous. The moon is associated with the subconscious mind and a realm of dreams and illusions. So you may be deceiving yourself or ignoring your inner feelings and instincts. Encourage you to explore your inner world and pay attention to your dreams or your intuitions. And that is basically what we get of the water sign. Now, I didn't do Pluto because Pluto, it's got a little Mars energy and it's not as feminine. So that would be the judgment card. So I didn't do that. So just so you know. But this is the water of the element of water. It's very, very important. So all of my water signs, understand the importance of why you are here on this planet and why we need you. Okay, if you guys want more, of course I have more. I have a newsletter you can sign up for. I have a Patreon, which I do bonus videos on my Patreons all the time. I'm pretty sure I might do a video on a water reading for all my water signs. That's probably what I'll attach to the Patreon for you guys. If you yeah, and if you want a personal reading, click the link in the bio. All the information is down below. I will see you guys next time. Bye.